जय हिंद दोस्तों, मैं हूं मेजर मोहम्मद अली शाह और आज मैं एक ऐसी हस्ती, एक ऐसी इंस्पिरेशन, एक ऐसी शख्सियत के साथ बैठा हूं भाई, जिनको वैसे वो कोई तारुफ के मोहताज नहीं है। आपने उनकी किताब पढ़ी होगी या आपने सुनी होगी जरूर, एक्सेस योर ट्रैप ट्रू पोटेंशियल बाय डॉक्टर कौसर शाह। भाई मैंने अभी हाल ही में मैं बुक शॉप में था, मैंने एक किताब देखी। मैं देखा ऑथर डॉक्टर कौसर शाह। अच्छा, मेरे को मालूम था कि भाई मेरे एक बहुत ही अजीज दोस्त हैं डॉक्टर कौसर अली शाह। मैं कहीं ये उनकी किताब तो नहीं है? तो मैंने एक्चुअली मोर देन द टाइटल ऑफ कोर्स इज वेरी वेरी अट्रैक्टिव एंड कैची, बट जो नाम था ना, क्योंकि मैं जाना था डॉक्टर कौसर अली शाह को, मेरे एक दोस्त थे, अजीज दोस्त थे, आपको बताऊंगा, इस पे हम भी आऊंगा मैं। तो फिर मैंने वो किताब देखी और मैंने पढ़ी, मतलब मैंने उठाई एंड आई बॉट इट स्ट्रेट अवे फ्रॉम देयर एंड इट वाज एक्सेस योर ट्रैप ट्रू पोटेंशियल बाय कौसर शाह। जी हाँ, इन्हीं शख्सियत के साथ मैं जिनके साथ बैठा हूं। भाई ये एक ऐसी शख्सियत है जिनकी पैदाइश दरअसल हुई थी ग्वालियर में, लेकिन इन्हें तालीम हासिल करी जम्मू में। इन्होंने हॉस्पिटल मैनेजमेंट में क्वालिफाइड है, ये कोर्स किया है, लेकिन ये एक प्रैक्टिसिंग मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर थे। इन्होंने हॉस्पिटल मैनेजमेंट में कोर्स किया और पिछले 2 डिकेड से, यानी कि 20 साल से तकरीबन ये हॉस्पिटल मैनेजमेंट में है। अभी फिलहाल ये एक बहुत ही बड़ा, सबसे बेहतरीन, कौन सा हॉस्पिटल आपके दिमाग में आया? हाँ, जो आपके जहन में आया जब मैंने बोला सबसे बेहतरीन अस्पताल, आपने बिल्कुल सही फरमाया, बिल्कुल सही समझा। सबसे बेहतरीन से बेहतरीन हॉस्पिटल की हॉस्पिटल मैनेजमेंट कर रहे हैं। मैं खैर अभी नाम नहीं लूंगा, लेकिन आपने जो समझा बिल्कुल सही समझा। मगर अभी हम बात करेंगे मेडिकल, और उस पे नहीं, उससे और आगे जाके जिससे बहुत लोग प्रेरित हो, इंस्पायर हो, इनकी किताब के ऊपर। क्योंकि बहुत लोगों का ऐसा मानना है कि भाई अगर हमें जिंदगी में कुछ हासिल करना है तो हमें एक गॉड फादर की जरूरत पड़ती है, एक माए बाप, एक कोई बड़ा कोई ऊपर हो हमें देखभाल करने के लिए। लेकिन मैं ऐसा कहता हूं, भाई जिनका कोई नहीं होता ना, उनका सबसे बड़ा गॉडफादर होता है, उनका सबसे बड़ा उनका ऊपर वाला होता है। ठीक है, कौसर भाई के जो वालिद साहब थे, जो फादर थे, वो एक जज थे। वो बहुत बड़े खानदान से आते हैं, लेकिन इनका ऐसा मानना है कि इंसान किस खानदान में पैदा होता है ये जरूरी नहीं है, इंसान खुद क्या करता है ये बहुत जरूरी है। आइए हम बात करते हैं, हम गुफ्तगू में आते हैं कौसर भाई से। कौसर भाई, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल, नमस्ते, जय हिंद,
आदाब।
शुक्रिया हमारे लिए वक्त निकालने के लिए।
हेलो हेलो।
कौसर भाई, सबसे पहले तो हमें अपनी किताब के बारे में बताइए। भाई आपकी किताब इज अ बेस्ट सेलर, धूम मचा दी है। और अगर इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग तो करीब इसके 10 महीने हो गए होंगे मेरे ख्याल से, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन।
हाँ, तकरीबन 10 महीने के आसपास हो चुके हैं। इट वाज लॉन्च इन द फर्स्ट वीक ऑफ फरवरी।
करेक्ट, जी जी। हाँ, तो तकरीबन 10 महीने आने को आ रहे हैं। अच्छा, अब मेरे को हमें बताइए थोड़ा कुछ अपनी किताब के बारे में। हमें बहुत लोग आपको सुन रहे होंगे, आपसे प्रेरित हो रहे होंगे, और उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए। आपने को ये आइडिया कब आया, कितना टाइम लग गया, और आपको ये आइडिया आया कैसे इस किताब लिखने का?
So, first of all, thank you very much that we are talking like this, and I am getting an opportunity to talk to various people, and maybe I'm reaching out to many people through this channel. And thank you very much for that, भाई। Uh, जो इस किताब की बात है, आई थिंक जो टाइटल है, इट इज अबाउट अनलॉकिंग योर ट्रैप्ड whatever the godfather you have inside. So ये जो थॉट मेरे दिमाग में है, is from is basically this originates from my own life in fact. So वो मैं बाद में बताता हूँ आपको। जो थॉट है वो ये है कि everybody everybody who you look around, including myself, I used to be the same. I always used to wonder कि लाइफ में आपको आगे चलने के लिए, if you want to be successful in your life, if you want to keep moving in your life, you must have a godfather to help you around, and you must have a godfather to guide you around. But the point here is that initially I used to be thinking the same way, and I used to always wonder because I lost my father pretty early in my life. So I used to be wondering the same thing. Many times I used to be dejected also. Okay, I wish my father was here, or I wish I had a godfather. But since I did not have either my father nor my godfather, I tried to look into myself. What is that which I require to keep moving in my career and trying to achieve the success which everybody is trying to do? Now, you would wonder, in fact, we all talk about Godfather, we all talk about somebody to help us as a guide or a coach or so. What does a Godfather do? What does a coach do? They don't put up a medicine or any medication or a syrup inside us and tell us कि now you become the better one. The point here is वो हमारे अंदर के potential को identify करते हैं. They only bring it out. So my point here is, that's why my entire logic about the book is, why should we require a third person to identify our own self? It's all inside us. Everything, every quality, every trait that we can think about is all right inside us only. So all that we can do, we just need to identify that. We just need to untap it. We just need to get it out. And when we do that, and when we strengthen our foundation, our base, so I believe the right things start happening around us. The right mindset comes in place, and there is nothing like a complex or so that I don't have a godfather, I don't have a support, or whatever I don't have. It is all inside. It is all that we look at the way it has to be looked at.
वेरी वेल सेड, वेरी वेल सेड। मैं बहुत लोग जानता हूँ जो कि बहुत कुछ करना चाहते हैं जिंदगी में, कहते हैं हम ये करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन हम बंधे हुए हैं, हम और कुछ कर रहे हैं क्योंकि यहाँ पे हमारी पहचान नहीं है, कोई गॉडफादर नहीं है, कोई हमारे लिए देखभाल करने के लिए नहीं है। जैसे कि फर्ज करिए, जैसे कि जस्ट फॉर टू गिव एन एग्जांपल, आई वांट टू बी एन एक्टर, समबडी, राइट? सो ही से, अरे मेरा गॉडफादर नहीं है तो फिर मैं जा नहीं पाऊंगा वहां पे, आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू मेक इट देयर एंड सच थिंग्स। एंड but do you think there's a difference between a mentor and a godfather, Kausar bhai?
So I think mentor is somebody who can just maybe suggest you how to move about. Godfather is somebody who literally, uh, I would say, actually he or she acts like a father, which is a god as well. Like God does extraordinary things for you. God tries to not only help you or guide you, but also tries to get the best out of you. It's basically all about a faith, the faith that we have on the God. God is just a faith, if you see, it's from that point of view. If you don't have a faith, there is no God. So the same way, it's about Godfather. So Godfather and mentor are two different things in this, but although the line is very, very thin between the two, but the only difference is the faith on a Godfather is much higher compared to a mentor. Mentor can be maybe for a specific program, maybe for a specific topic, but a Godfather is somebody who is with you just like a God all the time at every step of your career, every step of your life, in fact.
Very well said. Very well said. Now, tell me a bit more. Let's go inside the book for people who have not read it. Who I urge you all to grab your copy right now. And इसमें आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा. आप पहले आप ये बताइए कि आपने जो ये किताब लिखी, तो इसमें आपने कुछ सोच के लिखी about anyone in particular that you know that probably you had a godfather or you did not have a godfather, or either ways. तो आपने क्या सोच के ये किताब लिखी, कौसर भाई?
So मैंने in fact ये जो लिखा, as I told you, the thought which was in my mind all the time, that I used to be seeing many people. In fact, I still keep seeing many people in my life, in my professional career, in my personal life as well. People who tend to have this complex, and they seem to be getting stuck at a specific place in their career or their progress path. That since they do not have a godfather, they are not able to progress further. So that's where the thought came from. Okay, this is a wrong concept. I do understand many times you do require a specific guide to help you through about a few steps, but end of the day, nobody can be working with you 24/7. Nobody can be making you do the right things at the time when nobody is watching you. It's all inside us. And I wanted to reach out to those people. And I think I would say, okay, the people who are people who are in the stage when they're shaping up their careers, and even those people who are maybe stuck at a specific level of their careers, they want to move up in the ladder. That this is just a complex. This is just a notion. It's all inside us. You just have to look inside, have the right thought and process, and work along. And that persistence which you create with this thought, this is something which you require to move up in the career.
सुपर। मतलब भाई ये बताइए that you know आप खुद आपने मेडिसिन पढ़ी, यू आर अ मेडिसिन प्रैक्टिशनर, उसके बाद आप हॉस्पिटल मैनेजमेंट की ओर पे आए, और आपका तो जहां तक मेरा मानना है यू आर अ सेल्फ मेड मैन and you
Yeah.
didn't really have a godfather in particular in the industry that you are in right now. And you unleashed your true potential. आपने बल्कि दैट इज आपका बड़प्पन है। मैं जब आपसे बात करता हूँ, जब आपसे बड़ी अच्छी एनर्जी आती है और आपका मैं माइंडसेट जानता हूँ, आप कहते हैं भाई अभी और आना जाना आगे बाकी है, दैट लाइक रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट पोएम, बट माइल्स टू गो बिफोर आई स्लीप, राइट? सो आप ये बताइए, हाउ डिड यू डिसाइड टू गेट इनटू द प्रोफेशन ऑफ मेडिसिन? आपके खानदान, आपके फादर तो जज साहब थे.
Yeah. So basically, I just wanted to be into this profession. It's as simple as that. Previously, I wanted to be a cricketer, which obviously couldn't happen. So I just thought, okay, let's be a doctor. And this was something which was always good. I mean, something appealing to me. Uh, being with the people, being in a position where I can help people in whichever the capacity I can. I think the doctor is one profession which is maybe nowadays many people say a different thing about this profession, but at the end of the day, it remains as a profession, a noble profession where you get a chance, where you get an honest chance to help a person who is in pain, who is in a problem. And that's what has always appealed me. Whether I'm a doctor or whether I'm acting just a human being, I just love doing that.
Very well said, Kausar bhai. Very well said. My mother always wanted, एटलीस्ट हमें, हम 4 भाई बहन हैं, कि कोई एक बच्चा हम में से डॉक्टर बने. ठीक है? तो हम में से कोई डॉक्टर बन नहीं पाया, तो फाइनली माय सिस्टर गॉट मैरिड टू अ डॉक्टर. हालांकि लोग हमें सुन रहे होंगे, वो सुन रहे होंगे, वो नाम पढ़े होंगे, मेजर डॉक्टर. भाई मैं, इतनी अच्छी किस्मत नहीं है कि मैं मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर या मेडिसिन वाला डॉक्टर हूँ. नहीं नहीं नहीं. फिर हम लोगों ने बोला कि भाई पीएचडी कर लो, अगर डॉक्टर बनना है तो. कम से कम तो मैंने पीएचडी के लिए ट्राई किया, मगर भाई बड़ी लंबी चौड़ी कहानी है. फिर देन गॉड वाज काइंड दैट आई वाज ऑनर्ड बाय एन ऑनरी डॉक्टरेट. उस बहाने से भाई हम भी डॉक्टर बन गए थोड़े बहुत. मगर तो बड़ी शान की बात लगती है मेरे को. एंड आई, इट वाज माय लॉन्ग चेरिश्ड ड्रीम बचपन की, तो दैट्स व्हाई आई पुट दैट डॉक्टर. बट टेल मी वन थिंग, नो, व्हाट मैसेज वुड लाइक टू कन्वे टू आवर ऑडियंस हु do not who would be watching this in future and who do not have a godfather, and that is one thing which holds them back from reaching where they want to go. Because I believe the only thing that stops you behind from reaching where you want to go is you, your own self, and no one else. So, Ji Kausar bhai.
Yeah, absolutely right. You said this absolutely bang on. It's you yourself who can stop you. So at the same time, when you have the capacity to stop yourself, you just look at this from the other point of view. So that means you also have the capacity to move to any place that you perceive you are doable, you have a achievable position to go into. And that's exactly what this book is all about. So basically, this book talks about 10 chapters, and which are all basic foundation level things. So I've spoken about integrity, I have spoken about being humble or having humility, and being responsible or accountable, all these things which we need to feel from within, and having an eye for detail. So, and end of the day, the entire book, if you go through, I'm sure you must have gone through this, it only talks about one thing: these basic traits, keep it within. And as long as you do not become a good human being, it's very unlikely that you will be a successful leader. You may become a successful leader, but the depth, that foundation does not come into place where you can think about really making a very, very tall building with a deep foundation. So, the core values that a person should have, I've only spoken about these parts. So, basically, I would say that my father, who was a High Court judge, he was a very, very staunch, honest person. And I would share a small personal thing with you. Uh, I was in an age where I was almost, basically I was a teenager only, so I was like a rebel that time. And when I used to see he being so staunch honest and always trying to be on the principles and discipline and all that part, I used to be completely against him. And I always used to feel, okay, why is he doing like this? Why he cannot do like this? Why that? I never realized that at the back of my mind, I was absorbing all these things despite my exterior refusing for it. It was going well within in my subconscious. So I had my first realization about what I acquired from my father's personality, about integrity, about honesty. Uh, this was when I was doing my PG and I was on my emergency duty. There was a father who came because I was in pediatrics. So there was a father whose child had just stabilized in the emergency department. And after stabilizing the child, after advising all the treatment, and I was just walking out of the corridor and going up to the ward area. Suddenly, I heard a voice, "Sir, please listen to me." So I turned back. I saw somebody standing there. He came to me and he folded hands. He said, "Sir, I am the father of that girl जिसको आपने अभी दवाई दिया है." एंड आपसे सर मेरी एक ही विनती थी. मैंने कहा आप बताइए, आप बाकी सब ठीक हो जाएगा, डोंट वरी अबाउट द चाइल्ड, एवरीथिंग विल बी फाइन. He just put his hand inside his pocket, put out a big bundle of notes, basically the currency, and gave it in my hands के सर ये आपके लिए है, चाय पानी के लिए. I said, what is this? ही सर सर ये बस मैं आपको देना चाह रहा था कि आप इलाज जो है बच्चे का अच्छे से करें। मैंने कहा आपको पता है सरकारी अस्पताल है, वी डोंट टेक ए सिंगल पेनी फ्रॉम एनीबडी। ये सर नहीं सर मेरे को पता, पर मैंने सुना है सरकारी अस्पताल में भी ये सब होता है, आप पैसा दोगे तो शायद आपके बच्चे का इलाज अच्छा होगा, प्लीज मेरे बच्चे का इलाज अच्छा कर देना। I actually felt tremendous repulsion that time. That was an opportunity where nobody was watching me. Absolutely nobody. If I had a weak character, if I did not have that teachings or learnings which I was absorbing all through my father when he was there with me in my subconscious, that what is honesty, what is integrity, I'm sure I would have just pocketed it. But I lost my cool. There was huge repulsive reaction towards that particular guy. And although I did understand his emotions, I said, Kisi, दोबारा अगर ऐसा बोला, देयर इज अ कंट्रोल रूम हियर, दिस इज अ गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल, मैं तेरे को पुलिस को दे दूंगा, बच्ची का इलाज तो मैं करूंगा, उसके इलाज से इसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है, एंड डोंट इवन ट्राई दिस विद एनीबडी एवर। एंड देन आई वॉकड ऑफ। सो आई that particular night, of course, I was in the hospital only, but when next day, I was just thinking on that particular mode only, that imagine, as long as my father was there, as long as I was a teenager, I was completely in a different perspective. I used to be thinking totally other way around. I used to be thinking why to lose an opportunity to earn a money. Money is money. But when the real opportunity came to me to earn something without the right line, it completely repulsed from within. I had total repulsion from the inside. And I could just attribute this to my father and the way in which he used to be driving himself. I mean, complete credit goes to him. And then I mean, basically, so many things which as I started my professional career after that, I keep on, I would say, identifying those things which I had attributed for my father. And I had absorbed all through my journey with him, all through my time with him. They became my real help. As I have written in the book as well, I mean, when I realized there is no Godfather with me, there is nobody to basically guide me through and all that through this professional journey. So I realized that if I stick to these few things, things might work for me, and that actually started working. Somewhere I started getting that help. That, of course, I did have my, I mean, ups and downs, which continues. And as you are saying that I'm at the, I basically achieved so much. No, nothing like that. I still have a lot to achieve. I still have a lot to improve upon. The journey is constant and continuous. But I'm just saying that this is a basic foundation level, which if you keep reinventing within yourself, there is nothing that can stop you. There is nothing that you can get deterred from.
Wow, I mean, you are so right, so accurate. There are a lot of comments coming in for you, and there's one particular comment where Neha Agarwal writes, "Sir, you said that you have look inside, but how do you do it? And how do you do it to get this amazing level of introspection?" Neha Agarwal wants to know this.
So I would say that if somebody goes through this book of mine, I have one chapter which I have written. This also talks about SWOT. SWOT is about strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So generally, we do the SWOT for the organization. We do the SWOT for our place where we are working. But if we do the SWOT for ourselves, which is like identifying yourself in the most honest manner, you identify your own strengths first. Then you also be honest enough to identify your weaknesses. Then the threats that you have in your life, in your professional career, and of course the opportunities that you have. So all these things, then you work on the strengths to be multiplying further, so that that can keep helping you. The weaknesses which you need to be most honest to admit through. You have to create a way, a path to continuously improving upon this, so that that weakness can again turn into your strength. And threats, of course, you need to accept it many times and need to get rid of it. Opportunities, of course, they are the ones which you need to look up to gain in the future as you progress in your life. And I think I'm basically being very short about this, but somebody can just, I mean, read through this my book, and the entire thing is, I mean, in a very very elaborated manner, I mean, expanded there. In fact, you must have seen in my book that after every chapter, just because I want people to really really develop, I have put up an exercise where you can put up your, I mean, this is based on the person, whoever the person wants it to be like. They can just go through it. They can put some points into the exercise book and do it for themselves. And somebody who works on that diligently can really, really do well.
Right. There are a lot of comments coming in. Some few interesting ones from one Karuna City writes, "How to make the right call when on a crossroad." भाई इससे मेरे को एक शाहरुख खान का डायलॉग याद आया फ्रॉम दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे। वो कहता है, माँ जी बैठिए। जब मैं छोटा बच्चा था, मेरी माँ ने मेरे को कहा था कि भाई जिंदगी के हर मोड़ पे तुम्हें दो रास्ते मिलेंगे, एक रास्ता सही, that, remember that dialogue, very very famous dialogue, उससे मेरे को वो याद आया.
Yeah.
Anyway, please go ahead, Kausar bhai.
So about this, I would say that the entire book of mine talks about developing inner strength, developing your inner self, and having a very, very strong foundation. So when you have all this in place, believe me, when you are at a cross path, when you are in a confused state, this entire deep foundation really, really helps you. You get the right signal from within. I would say what you call as gut feeling, that gut feeling which comes only for a fraction of a second, something which will be making you comfortable, something which will be creating some discomfort at the back of your mind. That you need to, of course, not travel at, but you will get a voice from within, despite all the difficulties that you're facing as of today, despite all the challenges that you might be facing as of today, since you are at a cross path, you will still walk on the path which looks very tough as of today, which looks very difficult right now, but you will carry on that. And you will realize in a course of time that you took the right decision when you took this decision, because your foundation was very strong. So end of the day is the foundation is the right thought process which really, really helps you.
You're absolutely right. My dear friends, when I read this book and I was like, wow, I was literally bowled over. One of the best books I've ever read, in fact, very, very inspirational. So that's the time I gave Kaushal bhai a call and I said, कि I saw this book and I have picked it up and I'll be reading it. And जब मैंने पढ़ी किताब दोस्तों, तो मुझे लगा भाई कौसर भाई बड़े अच्छे डॉक्टर हैं, मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर हैं, हॉस्पिटल मैनेजमेंट में हैं. बट ऐसा मेरे जहन में आया that he should come on a TEDx platform and he should give a TEDx talk. So first करिए कौसर भाई, and it was very very gracious of you to have consented to my request and today we are speaking online. Tell me, if you get an opportunity, if you get an invitation to come and speak on a TEDx platform tomorrow, what would you like to speak on and how do you plan to go about that? How do you plan to structure your talk?
So basically, I think I definitely would like to speak about this entire thing which I've written in the book as well. That I mean, how you can develop yourself, how you can progress in your career. I mean, even if you have somebody to guide you through, even if you have somebody to walk you through or hold your hand, yet even if you do not have that, it doesn't actually make a difference. It's all within us. We need to be consistent, we need to be persistent, we need to identify our own strength and work on our weaknesses to keep improving upon. And I would like to definitely start from the scratch how a person comes into professional life and then how he starts moving up in the career and the thought process a person goes through. And this doesn't stop, in fact, even if you reach at the senior most level, the challenges of the specific level of the position remains different. So each time, if you have that strong foundation, this is something which can keep helping you, and I definitely would love to be at that platform. I mean, this is something which is a huge thing, and I would love to reach out to as many people as possible, share my own learning, share my own challenges, share the way I have been able to come up to, and I keep doing that. And I think this could be a pretty exciting thing for me.
You will. You spoke about gut feeling, right? So my gut feeling says you are going to be getting a TEDx invitation. That's the reason I asked you this question. And a lot of people from TEDx are going to be watching and will be blown by Dr. Kousar Shah's what he had to speak, what he had to say. And there's another very interesting comment coming in for you from Smiley, and I can see Smiley is actually smiling. Do you believe in deja vu? She asks, and also Smiley has asked one more thing, that how to become more disciplined. Perhaps वो आर्मी मैन हो, मेजर साहब को देख के वो सवाल मेरे से पूछा होगा एंड डेजा वो आपसे पूछा होगा. Either way, but I would rather throw it upon you to answer both the questions, Kausar bhai.
So let me tell you that I am basically not from army background, but in the entire healthcare circuit, I am known as non-army disciplinary. So I am basically pretty known for this discipline part as well, because I believe in discipline, because discipline is one thing, which is the honest thing which you develop within yourself. And the way to become disciplined is nothing else but you need to be clear in your head that you want to be disciplined. Discipline is about devising few principles and trying to work on that. And I think, for example, I one of the principles which I would say, although there are too many of those, I believe in punctuality. I mean, there is something which is very close to my heart. So invariably, because I have committed this to myself, I have told this to myself that this is one thing which I should do. You will not believe, I end up having some extra time budgeted for myself, maybe 5 or 10 minutes extra. Maybe, for example, if I do a Google map, if I have to come to your place, if it shows 30 minutes, I'll try to have maybe 35 minutes at hand so that there is 5 minutes additional with me, because you do not know on the way what might happen. And it gives a different pleasure when you're on a each day basis, you are able to live up to your discipline. That gives a tremendous satisfaction, because that itself is I would say, constant step towards your uh, goal or the target that you want to reach up to. And deja vu is something, I mean, I really don't know whether it exists or not. This is something which the person who is encountering this, not the person who is creating, that is the person who is responsible for this. It's not the person who is creating it. It's the person who is feeling this. For example, if I'm feeling a deja vu about you, so it's my thing which I'm feeling about you. I'm not, you are not creating it. So I don't really believe in that. And I can't really say anything about this. I mean, basically, I can't even say, does it exist? Does it not exist? I really can't say that.
True. Very true. Another very interesting comment from Dr. Sarfpreet Singh Mali. I'm a little, I'm in awe of doctors, so I a lot of respect for Dr. Saab, Dr. Sarfpreet Singh Mali. Should we take the opportunity for success, even if it costs hurting our close ones?
So, I think one has to take a very conscious decision about these things, and the right things have to happen at the right time. I would say about myself. I mean, I have been in Delhi NCR for a long time, and I have lost huge amount of opportunities. I would not say lost. There is nothing negative about this, but I did take many a calls at a vertical. I mean, throughout this career of mine. Now I'm okay because my kids are. I mean, and they are grown up. But till about couple of years back, I was clear that I will not move out of Delhi NCR, even if I'm losing some huge opportunities, some big opportunities with big organizations, big positions and all, because I wanted to be with my kids when they are growing up. So, and there is no repentance actually. And so basically, one has to level the two. I would say that a couple of times when I had to shift from one offer to the second offer or so, I have gone to the level of analyzing what do I look forward to have from this particular offer? What do I have currently from the current position that I have? And my priorities, I would give a number to that, because basically I'm a bit structured, you can say analytical type of a psychic person. So I would do that, and I would do numerological analysis about what is the end percentage that is coming out to be. So if the end percentage from the current thing, and this will be not just based on the current scenario, I will link it to my 5 years plan, link it to my 7 years plan, link it to my 10 years plan. So whatever is drawing me closer to that on a faster basis, that is the way I have always taken my decisions, especially the major ones. So there is no repentance and such that I've lost something because of my loved ones or my family. I rather would say it's a satisfaction, and the right things happen at the right time when you move in the right direction. So I would say that such decision always has to come from within. You need to have your priorities clear, and things will happen.
Very well said. Very well answered by you over there. And Dr. Sarpreet Singh Mali, I'm sure you would like this answer. There's another very intelligent, very nice question, rather, from Amina Shah, who writes, what are your plans for future books? What type of books will you release in the future? Are they going to be of any similar to your first book, Unlocked?
So now I'm actually working on my second book as well. It's already completed, just about 60 pages so far. Lot to be done yet, but the point here is that it's not going to be the same book. It's going to be fiction, in fact, but the fiction again will be having some teaching in it. So while here it is a different type of a story, which is like the author itself is saying everything about the experiences and all. In my second book, the author will be a character who is living the life, who is actually living the life, moving in the direction where he or she wants to move. So it's like a movie, I can say. This particular book is not a movie. It's like a experience which is being shared. But my second book is like it's going to be like a movie. It's like a somebody living the life. So there is a character which I have created. There is the entire characters around him which I have created, and everything is happening on a day-to-day basis. So I think this will be a different one. But of course, there will still be some teaching from that.
Very well. Again, RA writes, well answered, Dr. Shah. But here I would just permit me to take the credit over here. I think she's referring to me, not to you, actually. Because मैंने भी डॉक्टर लगाया
I would say both.
तो उससे उससे फायदा ये हो गया डॉक्टर लगाने से कि भाई अगर डॉक्टर नहीं लगाता नाम के आगे तो वो क्रेडिट ले नहीं पाता मैं. So you spoke about you spoke about being a good leader. So, and rather, I would say you can be a good, you can be a leader, but not a good leader. I would say I have physically seen you on ground taking tough calls. In fact, our first interaction way back over a decade ago, you had to take a very tough call in a hospital, and you did. And you're a man of integrity, a man of character, and in fact, you are a true leader. You said you are not from the army, but and yes, okay, you may not be from the military per se, but you have the qualities of a good leader. Like, they say a boss says I, a leader says we. A boss says get there on time, a leader says let's get there ahead of time together. A boss knows how it is to be done, a leader shows how it is to be done. A boss lets his people know where he stands, a leader lets his people know where they all stand together. A boss takes the credit, a leader gives it away. So you're a leader, not just a boss. Kausar bhai, and
Thank
there are
you.
so many comments coming in for you. And here also, I think I will take the credit. And Dr. Shah in the house. So yeah, Dr. Isha Shah ne bola hai. So and they are like a lot of
That's like
people बहुत चाहने वाले यहाँ पे हैं और बहुत कमेंट लिख रहे हैं. मैं unfortunately, you said that you have to look inside, but how do you do it, and how do you do it to get this amazing level of introspection? खैर नेहा, I think सर ने आपका आंसर पहले ही जवाब में दे दिया था. And it is you are getting so many comments, so much love from here, but and unfortunately I'm so sorry people who are commenting. I love your comments, keep them coming. I'm not being able to highlight all of them, but few of them I'm coming to. Yes, but let's take on Neha's question. Though I felt you had answered it, but let's take it once again from you, because Neha wants to hear from you. So you said that you have to look inside, and how to do it, and how do you get it to get this amazing level of introspection?
so. I would say that again, the same thing. Like one has to uh, first decide that you really, really want to know something about yourself. We all know what we do good, and we need to pen it down. We need to be, I mean, absolutely silent in that particular moment. Let's be absolutely honest. Let's put down our strengths. In fact, strengths are something which we can maybe understand from people also about us. Then weaknesses. Look at the weaknesses that you have. I mean, you are talking about either personal development or professional development. For example, I've just put it as an example. So long back, I used to be when I was, I mean, moving into the leadership positions, and I'll be very honest about it. I was very scared for. I was very scared of public speaking. But when I was doing my own sort, this
लगता नहीं
came as
बिल्कुल भी, लगता नहीं बिल्कुल भी. आपको देखिए, बल्कि मैं तो आपको कह रहा हूँ, मैं तो खुद आपको सुझाव दिया that you must go on TEDx, Kautal bhai, soon. Anyway, please go on. जी.
so in fact nowadays the thing is like this. I just enjoy public speaking. Now it's a totally turnaround for the last so many years now. And the moment I am on the stage, at the moment, the bigger the audience, I mean, the more confident, more comfortable, more, I would say, connected with the audience I am. And I have never been somebody who has, read from the note. I just want to be absolutely, upfront, speaking my mind directly. So I was just coming to that. So when I realized that this is one of the biggest weaknesses which I have in my leadership journey, because leadership is a lot about communication. Leadership is a lot about connecting with the people. Leadership is also about, I mean, being able to say the things directly in the clearest form to the larger and the larger and the larger team that you're trying to address to. So I started using the opportunities, whereas earlier I used to be shying away from that. I used to be making some other excuse to get away from the time when I used to be called onto the stage or in front of the 10, 15, 20 people to address something. Then I started grabbing the opportunities. And then, of course, when I started looking into it, I went through various articles and books and all that as well. I mean, so the practicing really helped me, where I used to practice it in silence. I used to be practicing all alone without somebody watching me. And that really, really, really helped me a lot. And so gradually, I became completely away from that weakness which I was carrying. And that turned into my strength, in fact. And I just love it when people say it. And I really feel good about it. And when I think, especially about my past time when I used to be scared about it, when people tell me you are a very good speaker, I feel damn good about it, because the journey has been very, very, I would say, calculated, or something on which I really worked upon. So this was just one thing which I spoke about, but that's how you need to be talking about, you need to be thinking about. And one more thing I would like to say, me being a medical doctor, I mean, it's always said the doctors are pretty bad at maths. It's always said that doctors are becoming doctor because they were actually bad at maths, they were bad at numbers. That's why they became doctors. So in my journey, when I started my management journey, I started, of course, from the medical management part only, which doesn't have anything to do with the numbers or financials or the business. But when the bug bit me that I want to run the entire hospital, which means the running the businesses as well, which means the mastering the numbers and the analytics as well. This again was a weakling which I was carrying along. I turned it around. So again, turning around required whole lot of efforts. It required, I would say, in fact, I would say that for about almost a year or so in some of the organization, I used to be coming home almost at midnight because after the working hours were over, I used to be spending those time when there was no operational challenge, nothing else, only those 3 4 hours working on my these core skills to be developed, and this really worked me. This really worked for me, and as a result, I was able to consolidate my base. So I was again answering to Neha's question only that first you need to identify your weakness, be honest about it, then go deep into it to convert this into a strength. And for knowing this, you need to pen down in the most honest manner what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, and where do you see yourself going in down the line in many years or couple of years or 5 years or 7 years time, and then work on developing those or shedding of those.
Very well answered. Very well answered. Again, Smiley is has been smiling and asking these questions. What would dawn in the dark mean to you?
So down in the dark means, uh, in my opinion, when there is dark, you just cannot be down. You may be in the dark, but you need to still remain positive, enlightened, completely enlightened in your mind. So in my book, I have started the introduction with this particular thought only. I was in fact coming from Ames, and I had to drop somebody on the way, and I had a bike that time. So I went to drop the person, which was pretty interior in some town area, and when I dropped the guy, when I was coming back, my bike got punctured, and the entire street was completely dark, completely dark. I mean, rarest of the rare thing where there is no light visible at all. So, and my bike got punctured. So that was a time when I just realized, okay, what do I do now? I cannot leave my bike there. I cannot be standing there, and there was no help coming. So I had no option but to try to find some help. And that dark, when I was literally pulling my bike with me, where there was hardly anything to be seen. I was sensing that so many senses which are already inside me are coming out. Like for example, I was able to perceive my own touch sensation, my own smell sensation. So everything which generally we have all inside us, but that was coming in a very loud manner, completely outside. And that is the time when I realized that all these things, when there is a dark, you need to still remain positive. You need to still have that light inside you. And with this thought, when I was just moving along, after some time, I did see a market there, and somebody was able to help me with the puncture and all, and I moved on then.
Wow, wow, wow. This is very, very inspiring, and this is, you've answered it very, very well. Again, it is. आपने कभी जिंदगी में कभी हार मानी है, डॉक्टर साहब?
Uh, Honestly, I don't believe in that because so one thing which I say that something which I want to do or achieve, one, it has to convince me. But once I'm convinced, then there is nothing I can take a U-turn about it because that's I just want to take a step on a daily basis towards it. I just want to persist with that thought that this is doable. I am convinced about it, so I have to do this. This will happen, and there is nothing which has ever not happened in my career or life for that matter because when you persist, when you're convinced, when you're sure from within, that means the entire strength of yours is there. Your entire thought process is there. You just need to keep continuing, taking steps towards it, and this happens. Many times it may take time. Many times it may take a very long time. It may. I mean, I always say there are two type of challenges that when you're on the right path, which come in your career or in your life, basically. Two tests, in fact. One is test of tough times. So when you're on the right path and when you're convinced about it, and when you're persisting with that stepwise direction movement towards that particular goal, there will be tough times coming, and many times you just feel like losing on it. But that inner strength will come to your rescue, and you will continue. Second thing is temptation. This is another test where you feel like having some shortcut, something to make you feel, okay, why am I doing all this when this is available? So that is another thing which you need to be getting away from. These two tests, which is the tough times and the test of temptation, if you keep on passing through your entire persistent journey, nothing can stop you from achieving your goal.
Wow, very well said. Yes. So that reminds me of the of few four lines which say something like, "Don't quit when the tide is lowest, for it's just about to turn. Don't quit
Absolutely.
when you run the furthest, for your race is almost won. Don't quit when the night is darkest, for there is just a moment until dawn. Don't quit, for you're not a failure unless and until you fail to try." So इस तरीके से बड़ी अच्छी आप जो बोलते हैं, बड़े अच्छे तरीके से आप बोलते हैं, you in fact, there is a doctor, Dr. Palash Sen. He was a doctor, medical doctor. He became a singer. So you are a
Yeah, yeah.
doctor. I'm suggesting again you should become a professional speaker. In fact, so yeah, hey, don't quit. Yes, Dr. Shah ने लिखा है. Dr. Shah ने S Shah ने लिखा है. Don't quit. Absolutely. मैं एक
Yeah.
पैंडेमिक के लिए हालांकि ये आई एम लिटिल carried away by Dr. Shah's thing of don't quit. मेरी फेमस बहुत फेवरेट कविता है. मैं आपकी इजाजत से, ये आपका शो है, मैं आपकी इजाजत से मैं वो कविता बोल सकता हूँ क्या मैं, डॉक्टर साहब?
Please, please do that.
And this is for doctors as well, So as when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but have to sigh, when care's pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. See, life is queer with its twists and turns, and all of us sometimes learn. And many a person turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. So don't quit. Though the pace seems slow, you may win with that other blow. Often a struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup. And he learned too late when the night came down how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint in the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It might be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst, you must not quit. So, ये एस शाह ने वो किया, तो आई एम लाइक डॉक्टर रजत देव ने लिखा है, really motivated, sir. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Yes. Dr. Shah, and before we leave, before we call it a night, I know you've been very generous with your time, and thank you very much for consenting to my request and coming on the show. And also, any last message you would like to give to the universe from your side, Dr. Kousar Shah?
So to the universe, or basically to any of the listeners that they're listening right now, I would just like to say that I think one should never be scared of anything. One should be convinced of whatever the person wants to achieve, whatever the person
What if
like.
I say I'm scared of the dark? Light bhagi
So,
thi hai. What if I say I'm scared of the dark?
so I mean, you cannot be, if you are put into the dark, you cannot be scared of the dark. Then you'll be just, I mean, losing yourself. So you
No, it
need
was a
to.
joke. It was a joke. Actually, I'm not scared of the dark. वो क्या हुआ था ना, आपका screen wipe out हो गया था, तो it was a dark screen over there. तो मैंने वहीं
Yeah.
पे spontaneously बोला. जी,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
So
Please.
basically, I would just like to say that you need to build up your character. You need to build up your inner foundation. You need to have very, very strong foundation deep within, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your professional life. And when the foundation is deep, there is nothing that no type of a storm or tempest can basically stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. And that inner strength is a conviction. When you have that conviction, there is nothing that you can stop. I mean, there is nothing which can stop you from moving on to whatever you want to achieve or moving on to wherever you want to go. So build on that, and there is absolutely nothing which is impossible. Absolutely nothing. I just don't believe in that, in fact. So once you are determined, and of course you need to be determined first, you need to be convinced. So that determination, that conviction will definitely create the right path for you. And just keep on subtracting the two T's that I spoke about, the two tests that I spoke to about, the test of tough times and the test of temptations. Just keep getting rid of it. Don't lose your focus. There is nothing which you cannot achieve once you have the deep and strong foundation inside.
Absolutely. There are a lot of comments coming in. Dr. Isha Shah writes, well said, feeling inspired. And today, incidentally, this is my second conversation with a doctor. हालांकि कॉन्वर्सेशन बहुत हुई है मेरी आज, मगर खास तौर से एक लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल शाही है, पद्म भूषण. He got the Padma Bhushan from, he is in charge, he was responsible for setting up the RNR, the Research and Referral Hospital, जो है ना, आर्मी हॉस्पिटल,
Yeah,
वो उन्होंने सेटअप. He was the man who got it placed. He was I would say, when you say founder in your hospital language, founding member, वैसे ही उस तरीके को RRK, he was responsible for that. एंड भाई बहुत ही मजा आ रहा है मेरे को आपसे बात करके डॉक्टर साहब. एंड वाकई में आई डोंट फील लाइक लेटिंग यू गो, बट आई रिकॉल दैट यू मस्ट बी बिजी एंड you very very sweet of you to have consented, and we'll call it a night, and thank you very much. मगर उस जाने से पहले मैं एक advice या एक help या एक you can call it an order from an army man, वो सबको दे रहा हूँ मैं, to Lieutenant Sadhana Chaudhary Ponyan, who's watching, Dr. Isha Shah, Dr. S. Shah, Dr. Rajat Dev, and to Dr. Shagun, Smiley, Neha Agarwal, R.A. Amina Shah, and Dr. Sarvpreet Singh Mali, करुणा सेठी, नेहा अग्रवाल और बाकी अन्य लोग जो हमें देख रहे हैं. मैं आपसे कहूंगा, देखिए, ओके, लेट्स प्ले अ गेम. फास्टेस्ट फिंगर्स फर्स्ट. मैंने अभी बात करी लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल शाही के बारे में, पद्म भूषण, उनकी टॉक में यूट्यूब चैनल पे है. अगर आप में से कोई भी फटाफट कमेंट सेक्शन में लगा दे वो लिंक, तो मैं मान जाऊंगा. लेट्स सी. एंड सेकेंडली, जिनके भी मैं नाम लिए अभी, इट्स योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. You all have to share this talk. I want this talk, very, very, very meaningful talk, to reach the universe and to go all over. It's your responsibility now. To each one of you, go ahead, go forth and multiply. Huh? Go forth and share it. And Jabin Masood ka bhi message aaya hai ka, well said, so proud of you. And yes, Kausar bhai, you are a true inspiration, and thank you very much. I learned a lot. Each time I meet you, I learn so much, and right now I've learned so much being in conversation with you. Shukriya bahut bahut. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate the way you also basically just got this done. Thank you so very much.
A lot of love and respect for you, and more power to you, bhai. And so before we go, your book, tell us about your book. ये एक तो stores में available है, और ये Flipkart, Amazon में available है. Tell us how does, how does people thank love you, kid brother, so sweet. There's a message for you. So
that's
sweet. So sweet. That's a very sweet message. So tell us about my viewers. I would urge the viewers to go ahead and grab their copy right now, ASAP. Aliza Zaidi, super proud of you, mama. Aliza, अगर ऐसी बात है, Aliza, तो बातों से नहीं भैया, काम से. इसको अभी आप कम से कम 2000 लोगों से शेयर करो, अभी अगले 2 मिनट में. Come on. Okay. Yes, tell me, Kausar bhai, how does one lay their hands on the book right now? Our viewers who are watching.
It's pretty simple. I mean, it's available on the Amazon, and Amazon is, it's well covered, well reachable. Anybody can just reach out to that. It's available on Amazon plus Kindle as well. So there is soft copy plus hard copy, both available inside.
All right. And also, apart from that, you are very, very popular on LinkedIn. So just tell us about your social media handles. You would like to, people who are watching would like to follow you further on your LinkedIn and your other social media handle, wherever you wish to share.
So LinkedIn, again, basically, my name can be typed and I can be reached out there. And I follow I write all the posts and everything myself. There is nobody working for me on that. And I do everything myself inside. And LinkedIn, I find a very good platform on a professional level. And I keep trying to contribute towards anybody who can learn something from my side, from my experiences or so. Something, even if one person can feel good or feel motivated or good about something which I keep sharing on my LinkedIn profile and all, I think that will be worth it, in fact.
Yes, Kausar bhai, shukriya bahut bahut. And हमारी बातें चलती रहेंगी. I can go on conversing with you. You are one person I can just go on sitting and hearing you for hours and hours together. But thank you very much. और घर पे सबको give my regards to everybody at home, bhai. Shukriya.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.